and it was brought together by Travel Tech Academy. Now, if this is your first time of hearing about Travel Tech Academy, I'm going to give you a brief description of what we do. Travel Tech Academy is a tech academy that helps people transition into the tech careers of their choices without learning how to code or with low code at affordable prices. Now, what it means is we are trying to bring tech to the doorstep of every human to make it easier for you to penetrate. Please, Adenia Samuel, please mute your mic. I mute people, and I remove people from the call once I see that you're not obeying others. So, if this is your first time hearing about Travel Tech Academy, like I was saying, we help people transition into tech careers of their choices. So you don't have to be a coding guru or a programming master. If you know you don't like coding or programming, then Travel Tech Academy is the best stop for you. So you can transition into any tech career of your choice that we are offering without learning how to code or with very low code. Now we have a number of courses that we offer. It's not just data analytics. We offer UI UX design or product design. We had a session on that yesterday. Software testing or quality assurance. We had a session on that yesterday too. Product management, product design or UI UX design. Like I said, that business analysis, cybersecurity, and cloud computing, and many other courses or career paths in tech. So if you know that you're interested in moving or transitioning into any of these tech areas, then Travel Tech Academy is your best stop. So I know you're wondering who is talking, who is speaking, who is she, or who is he? Okay, I'm a she, and my name is Ayomide Adeniyi. I'm the brand manager for Travel Tech Academy, and you can see my picture, my beautiful picture on your screen. I'm the lady in the middle, in the middle of two men. So I'm going to be your host tonight, and I have two guest speakers. My speakers are seasoned. When I say seasoned, I mean they know what they are doing, they know their onions. And so I would like you to be attentive as much as possible. Now, if you know anyone who ought to be here, anyone who has always had desire for data analytics or passion for data analytics, or you have passion for it and you want your own friends to also come into it, then this is the best opportunity for you to reach out to them, share the link with them, let them join this session. There's no need to register to join. Now, the good part about this session is either you're a newbie to data analytics. What does newbie mean? Newbie means you have never heard about data analytics, or you're entirely new to the whole tech career. Maybe you have heard about data analytics, but you don't know what it means, right? Ijoma says blessed that one way. You people, let me be serious. Let me focus. So maybe this is your first time. Yes, you're in the right place, you're in the right session, you're in the right class, because we're going to talk to you like you are hearing data analytics for the first time. Now, if you're someone who has also heard about data analytics, but you have little knowledge, but you know that, I mean, one or two things about data analytics, I know you're also in the right place, because you're going to be talking to people in the intermediate level. And if you are also a guru, a professional in data analytics, you are also welcome, because we are going to be talking about how you can get more opportunities in data analytics. So whatever category you find yourself in, you are welcome. Now, if you want to speak, because this is how the session is going to go, I have a couple of questions and a list of questions that I have mapped out for my two guest speakers, and I'm going to be asking them simultaneously or one after the other, and they're going to be giving us answers, right? But this is where it gets dicey. I know that you cannot just keep listening. You also have questions, and for some people, the main reason you're here is you want your question to be answered. So because I know this, it means there's a time that would come that I will give the opportunity for people to ask their questions. Now, we are all adults, which means we cannot just be disorganized or disorderly. Now, on your phone screen or your laptop screen or your desktop screen, if you're using Google Meet, this platform you're using now, if you're using a phone, you will see a hand button on your screen. That hand button is to raise your hand. So once you click on that button, your hand is going to be raised and everybody on the call can see your hand. And Google Meet, this platform, I like it because it automatically creates a queue. So once you're on the queue I can see the first person that raised their hand, the second, the third, the fourth, and the last, right? So if you have questions, then I say question time, blessing time. So you can raise your hand and I can give you audience to speak. Now, if you know that you are a shy person or you don't want us to hear your beautiful voice like myself, or you're in a very noisy place and you cannot speak, you can also make use of the chat box. Now, once you click on the chat box, you know what's going to happen. Everybody on this call will see whatever you type. Now, if you're using a phone, you will see three dots and a three dot icon or menu on your screen. Click on that, then you see in-call messages. Now, in-call messages will take you directly to the chat box. If you're using a laptop, on the other hand, or a desktop, there's an icon that looks like a messaging icon, right? Click on that and you can chat and everybody can see you. So I've already said it now, for orderliness and for organization's sake, please let's adhere to instructions. I'm a nice host, but at the same time, I don't take disorderliness. I don't like disorganization. If I say please mute your mic and you don't mute your mic, I will mute it for you. And if you now unmute again, I will remove you from this call. It's my show. I choose the game, right? I have my rules. So anyway, Travel Tech show, but it's still my show. So please let's play by the rules. We're all adults. And to get the very best session from this session, let's abide by the rules. Because if 5 people are talking at once, how would you hear what we are saying? So let's go right into it. Don't forget, get a pen, get a book. In faintest pen, Ogushola Emmanuel, mute yourself. The faintest pen is sharper than the sharpest memory. Write. If you know that these are things you're going to need to go back to, please write. Because we're going to be dropping great nuggets this night. Please mute your mic. Oh. Okay. Now, presently on this call, we have 83 people. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to be introducing my superb guest now. If you see this flyer on your screen, you can see two handsome men that I'm in their middle. Blessed am I among men. They are handsome people, and they are not just handsome, like they are not just a fine container with empty brain. No, we don't roll with people like that. They are fine inside and outside, upstairs and downstairs. They are fine. So it means that they know what they are doing and they are professionals. So the first person I'll be introducing is Ayoade Adegbite. Ayoade, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so can you introduce yourself to us?
Um, Good afternoon or good evening, guys. Pardon my frog voice. I'm not feeling
It's the
too
voice
good.
of rich people.
So my name is Ayade Adegbite. I'm a data analytics consultant with analytical minded, and I currently work as a data analyst slash data engineer with Wirepeak, a Canadian-based company. And I think aside of that, I just love talking. I love talking a lot. Yeah, so that's more like it.
Wow. Canadian money. So you're adding spending Canadian money. And
Is
you're forming
Naira
up. You know, say your voice is somehow. How will your voice not be somehow when you have chopped too much money? God, I beg you.
any Naira now, so it's even far better than any dollar now.
Okay. Oh, you go explain. Hi, Ade. Welcome to this session. Thank you so much for joining us. For the sake of this call, call me Ayo, and I would like us to have a very engaging session so that people can learn from your well of knowledge. And I know you have brought answers and solutions to this session tonight. So, Ayade, I hope that you're in a place that is less noisy, because anyway, your place was very clear and we can hear you well. So the second guest I have tonight is Daniel. Daniel, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Good evening.
Hi, Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, Daniel, can you introduce yourself to us? Tell us why you're here and what to expect from you.
Oh, okay. So hi everyone. It's so good to um be here. My name is Sergius Daniel. Daniel is actually my surname, so my name is Sergius, and I am currently working as a data analyst for Baxi Bion Africa. It's a fintech here in Lagos. And I do not like talking. So, so thank you for that, for the compliment. But just unlike I do not like talking, so I talk less. Yeah, it's so good to have to be here with us this evening.
Daniel, so okay, you said your last name is Daniel. Oh, so sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sergius.
my last name is Sergius
Okay.
is my first name.
Nobody stays around me and talks less. I will bring out that talkative in you. That's one thing about me.
Oh
Ask,
no,
ask,
no,
ask
no.
Ade. I'll bring that talkativeness in you. So don't worry, you're going to enjoy yourself. And I will try my best as possible to make you feel comfortable and very, 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 very free. So losing up, losing up. And people like you that always say you talk less is a lie. When we say, oh yeah, say one sentence now, you will not get inspiration. We're saying everything. Efe, please mute your mic. Thank you. So I'm sure you guys are ready. Now, for the sake of this conversation, you will be on the hot seat. Who remembers Who Wants to Be a Millionaire those days? And one thing about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is Frank Edo will say, I have you on the hot seat and they're going to ask questions. So my two guests are going to be on the hot seat, but trust me, the seat will not be too hot for you. I trust you both. You are gurus, so you will not feel the heat too much. But then I'm going to start with Sergius. I'm going to ask you a question, which is, for the sake of people who are hearing about data analytics for the very first time, they have never heard about it, or they have heard about the term, but they do not know what data analytics is really. How can you define data analytics to a newbie in today's world? Sergius, did you
Okay,
hear me?
hi, can you
Okay.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, I was actually trying to unmute and it was taking a lot
Okay.
of time. So
Um,
basically, if I would want to um, define data analysis or tell someone about what data analysis is, I'm going to tell them data analysis is basically the collection and transformation of data to actually draw conclusions, you understand? And not just drawing conclusions, you actually make predictions. And most especially, what it's basically used for is to drive informed decision making. So most times the definition is not complete when the driving of informed decision making is not in there, you understand? So informed decision making, you are not just collecting data, you are not just transforming it, but you are what you are trying to make an informed decision for a company or for a firm in which you work with. So it's just basically collecting facts and coming and running an analysis and knowing, you run an analysis and you draw conclusions for for a business and everything. So that's one of them, what data analysis really is. So I would actually draw to the purpose as it's actually just to to answer complex questions, you understand? So data, it drives biases because in companies nowadays you would see that people would want to make decisions based on their bias knowledge of things, you understand? That doesn't work anymore because data is here now. Data gives fact, you get. So once the fact is there that the number says that so amount of this is happening, this thing, and this is the time we have our peak period of sales. So why are you dragging that when the data is actually saying this? You understand? So that is what data is. It drives out biases. Like it helps company make informed decisions. So for a newbie, that's how I explain data analytics to a newbie. Yeah, thank you.
all right, Sergius, thank you so much for your explanation. But then I think I want you to give me an insight into what you do, like your day-to-day activity as a data analyst, in like practically now in a tech company. Do you understand my question?
Yeah. Okay. So let me give that. So my day-to-day activities, it spans within, gathering data, like you what I do day to day is I get data, like collect data from our data source, and we get requests from various stakeholders. When I mean stakeholders, I mean different teams of the company that actually needs data to, solve one or two issues. So just like, let me use the example for the sales team. I get data for them to actually, I actually analyze data to show the amount of sales that has been done, like within regions. And so basically, it's just to answer questions that they need at that point in time using the data we have. You understand? So the marketing team might want to, do like a this thing, maybe a promo or something, and they want to know which of our this thing customers are actually, selling, like doing having the most sales. And in order to reward them, I'm just making use of these simple examples. You understand? So it's more to it, but on a daily or weekly basis, I give informations to various of these teams to help them on decisions in terms of how to drive sales for that week and everything. Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. I'm sorry. Hey, what is it, Daniel, that's coming to my mouth? Thank
Don't
you
worry,
so much,
you can just call me
Sergio.
Daniel. It's acceptable.
By the way, your name is unique. What does Sergio mean? Because I don't think
Okay.
I've heard it before.
Apparently it means prudent.
Hmm. Are you prudent?
I don't know. Maybe you should be the judge of that. Am I?
You look like a spender to me. Spending money.
And oh,
All these ego mazes.
well,
You're still shy. Don't worry. At the end of this session, we'll know whether you're a spender or not. Thank you so much, Daniel.
yeah, that's
So
fine.
I hope everyone got that. Hey, this is great. Grace, you become class captain in this class, so because she's saying prudent. So I hope everyone got that explanation, and I think that was very explanatory enough. But I know that as we delve deeper into the session, Daniel is going to share more insights, and even Ayade is going to share more insight with us. So just stay tuned for more examples and more understanding on data analytics. So don't fret; it's not something out of place. I mean, data analytics might sound like, what are we analyzing? Analyzing data. Don't worry, you get more insight later. So Ayade, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Nigeria weather is treating me the way they used to.
Is it the heat or is your place cold?
I think both is cold, is hot, but we are managing.
See, I don't even know whether I should pity you or not, because you are collecting money from a cold place, cold country. So maybe you should get with the heat and be spending your cold money country. So pick one. Or you go to a coach and spend the Nigerian money. Choose one, no. Because we that are not spending
Mm,
your money like this, you are not complaining of it. So spend your money, I beg. Even though I'll
you
still come to
Google
your house to bill you.
part said I'm collecting naira.
What did you say?
I'm collecting naira. We have a branch in Nigeria here, so it's the Nigeria branch that I
It's
moved.
for a
So
Canadian company. All those ones, nice explanation.
no
All right,
problem.
Ayade.
Yeah.
Yes, so I have a question for you, and the question is, when we hear data analytics, some other people talk about data science, and it now looks like data analytics is another name for data science. Or what do you think the difference is between data analytics and data science? Is it the same? Are they different? If they are the same, what are the similarities? If they are different, what are the differences? Plus, if it's different, why do you think people misunderstand both for each other? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I'm going to come in from where Daniel stopped when he was trying to explain what data analytics is. But let me drive that to like when we're all trying to enter an institution to study one course or the other, right? Or when we start knowing our left hand from the right hand side, or when we start saving our food money in school so that we can buy stuff when we are going on so that we can eat and all of those things. Now, when you want to get into an institution to study, some people are influenced by their parents to pick what they end up studying in school. Why for people like us, we have like the 100% decision to make about what you want to study in school. Now, before you pick what you want to study in school, you do some research and all of those things. Basically, what you are doing in that scenario is you are trying to gather data, which is part of what data analysis or data analytics is all about. Now, based on the data that you've gathered, you did some other findings. So, will my parents be able to afford this tuition fee? Do I have like the time to spend 5 years in school or 4 years in school and all of those? Now, that process is what we call data cleaning. You are removing things that would not aid your decision at the end of the day. And then you finally decide that, oh, I want to go and study engineering, right? You've made your decision. Now, those decisions that you are making, if you bring that into the data feed, that decision does not fall on you. The decision falls on your stakeholders, which are basically your bosses and business decision makers. They are the one that would give you the questions that your decision will be finally based on, right? Now, what I used to tell most of my students is that you can't do data science without doing data analytics, but you can do data analytics without doing data science. So before you do, because data science is mostly on machine learning, right? And it works with this concept of garbage in, garbage out. If you feed it with good data, you get good accuracy. If you feed it with bad data, you get bad accuracy. It's as simple as that. And the whole data cleaning and all of that is what is the rudiment of data analytics. I think the only thing that sort of differentiates data analytics, if you have to look at the end of the day, is that as a data analyst, 80% or 75% of your work might end up as being a dashboard. While as a data scientist, you're always building machine learning algorithms, you're always deploying models, you're always redefining models in the pipelines and all of that. So what I tell people is, even if the end goal for your career is to be a data scientist, you still need to pass through data analytics. You still need, it's in data analytics that you learn about data types, that you learn about data cleaning, that you learn about data aggregation and all of those things. When you move into machine learning, what you are basically doing in that scenario is more like you're adding a toppings to your ice cream. You don't focus your energy on the toppings. You focus your energy on the ice cream that you're trying to make. Because look at this scenario. You have an ice cream that is like almost watery and you're adding toppings to it. You will not give that to anybody and they will appreciate it. But focus your energy on the ice cream itself, make it solid, make it look yummy, and then add the toppings on it. That's when people will appreciate you. So data science is more like toppings to data analytics, but data analytics is part of data science, right? So it sort of comes out, oh, you know what? Before our data engineer, so if we go back like far away before we have this new data warehouses and all of that, how this thing works is that the data engineer pulls data from different resources, and based on business questions or business requirements, the data engineer will clean the data. So, but not 100% clean. Now, you as a data analyst will pick up this data and then do your own refining, do your own cleaning, and at the end of the day, maybe build a dashboard on it. Now, based on the data that you have cleaned, the data scientist can decide to pick on that your own data that you have cleaned and decide to work on it, or can decide to go and pick the semi-cleaned data that the data engineering has dropped into the system. So the data analytics and the data scientists, they mostly work hand in hand. That's why I feel people sort of mix them up together, but they are different. They have distinct different roles. In data science, you use more of Python to write. If not Python, you use R, and you work more on modeling. So you need to have heavy knowledge of mathematics, mostly statistics, because all of your machine learning algorithms, they are just mathematical functions. Why for your data analytics, you need to learn more of communication. You need to be able to communicate your findings. I was watching one skit yesterday. I think Development Arrest. That's like the series, and the doctor came out of like the operation room and was talking to the family of the guy that was in the operation room, that everything is all right, and everybody was happy. They were smiling, and the doctor was like, "Oh, that's great attitude. I never knew you would take it this way." The woman was not like, "Oh, but I thought you said he's all right." He was like, "Yes, he lost all his left hand, but he's all right. So he has only the right hand left." And that was how everybody started shouting. It was like, "Yeah, yeah, That's the expression I was expecting before, right? So in data analytics, you do more of communication. In data science, you do more of machine learning, more of deploying and all of that. So I think I'll put a pen to it there. Yep. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. You put a pen to it in the right place, and I think everyone here has can understand now that data analytics is part of data science, and people are even clapping for you. God when. And so, if you're in this session, I don't expect that you also make that mistake again for confusing both, although they are very interwoven and one is inside one, but at the same time, you need to understand the clear cut difference between both. You know, the funniest thing is, some people they actually start learning or they just transition into tech career into data analytics maybe last week, and they're already saying I'm a data scientist. And I'm like, calm down now, take a chill pill, I beg. Be calming down, so small. So thank you so much for that insight, Ayade. Now, Ayade, I'd like to ask you a question. And I'd like to ask you about your background before you became a data analyst. Let us hear your story. What led you into becoming a data analyst? Is that what you studied in school? I mean, like, what was your passion? How did you hear about this career path? And are you enjoying it so far?
Okay, so let me start from where you stopped. In terms of enjoying, I think I'm enjoying it. Aside that, the money is there, which I think is like the focus of every person that is sort of going into tech now. I'm enjoying it. Let's leaving the money part out. But then, if I'm to go back, I think I started coming into the programming parts, just programming generally, in my second semester in school, because I went to poly. I studied mechatronics engineering. So I started with Java, but my lecturer then said if you want to make waves in Java, you need to like spend money. And here I am, just trying to like be outstanding and stuff. So I literally don't have money to be spending on learning any program language. So I decided to switch to Python. So I decided to switch to Python, and along the way, I went for my first 6 month IT. So in my course of study, we do IT twice. So we did like the second semester of your ND2, you go for 6 month IT. Then the first semester of your ND3, you go for another 6 month IT. So when you are done with the whole 3 years program, you go for another IT. So which is like we have like 2 years of industrial training. But for the 1 year that you are going while you are still in session, you still pay school fees, just that you are not coming to take lecture. And I think that's about 6 unit cost. So I went to this computer, more like a software company, Alpha Speedlink. I can still remember the name. And when I got there, what I wanted to learn was web development. But the person that was teaching us started with JavaScript, and I ran away. I went to another section of the company, which is they were doing networking. Then when we got to TCP/IP, I ran away from networking. I went downstairs. I joined software. We're using Java. It was really fun. We're using NetBeans. I was building user interfaces that were interesting and stuff. Then we were to like do maybe a project or something. Then I had a blockage on that project and I ran away again. So I went to marketing. Now, the day I joined marketing was the day they went out for um to distribute flyers. We left office around 8 and we go back like maybe to 5. The next day, I ran away from market. Now, I was not looking which of these units
Sorry,
am I going
Shakiru Idowu, please mute yourself.
Okay, thank you. So now, when we go back, I was like, no, I'm never coming to this marketing unit again. So where do I want to go? Now, out of the 4 segments in the office, I've went to each one of them. I've had different experiences. So I just decided to settle back for web development. Now, by the time I go back to the web development, they're already doing HTML and stuff. So I was like, hey, this is what you should have started with instead of starting with JavaScript. So we started doing web development small, small. Then from there, we moved to WordPress. So I was like, I think I love this WordPress. So I picked up WordPress and I started using WordPress to build websites and stuff. And before you know it, I got my first job. Now the job was not even like come and do interview and stuff. I thought the job was like, oh, a one-off project. So when I sent an email to the woman was like, this is not how you talk to your future employer. I was like, future employer, qua. Somebody said you have a website to build, and that's how I'm reaching out. So before I know it, I started working with the company. The company is UK based, but it's owned by Nigeria. So I'm getting paid in Naira. Before I always start saying I was collecting pounds now. So I was working, the whole thing was going smoothly, but then I was doing that till I think say 2019 thereabouts. And then I started realizing that I'm not enjoying it. Though at the end of the month, you collect the money and, but all of my projects are in-house. None of the projects were being deployed. Though we have clients that we're working with, but it's a thing of the CEO we discuss one feature with the client and agrees with the client that the feature is possible. Then we bring that to the developers and be saying, this feature, you need to make it happen because I've agreed with the client. Then we start rambling. Projects that are meant to take like 2 months, 3 months, started taking like 6 months and all of those things. So I resigned during my second year because I went back for HND. I resigned during my first year in HND. So I was free, no job, no nothing. So I just like, wait, I know programming now, what can I do? Then I started reading up on data analysis. I was like, oh, wow, this is data analytics. I mean, this is interesting. And I found it interesting. And since then, I realized, oh, with data analytics, you can help people make informed decisions. They don't just sit down and just say, hey, that particular branch, we are closing it down tomorrow because we are not making sales. Can they really look into why they are not making sales? Is it that did not making sales, is it seasonal or not seasonal, or is it just there? That was my intention. So I was started learning, like attending any boot camp that is available and doing all sort of things. Then I was like, the best way to actually
Mm.
prove to people that I know this thing is if I start teaching it. So I was scrolling through status from one of my contact list, Johnson, and I saw that he posted a screenshot that somebody is looking for somebody that will teach them data analytics, basically SQL, Excel, Python, and just that. I was like, oh, I can do this. And mind you, this is the first teaching gig I'm going to get, though I do tutorials in school and all of that. And it happened to be physical. So I have to be going from my place to their house in order to teach them. I think I charged maybe 200 or 250K then. That was like big money to me. So after like training them for a month and so I was like, no, I'm good. I think I'm going to expand my territory. So I started talking to people that, hey, this is what I do now and stuff. And before you know it, people started sending me assignments from guys that just go travel out of the country to go and study data science or study data analytics without knowing anything. And I started doing assignments for them, started charging and started making. And before you know it, the money started coming in. The passion was there. I was fulfilled doing something that is making me happy. And yeah, that's it. Till where we are today.
What an interesting story. So you left mechatronics engineering. You're supposed to be helping us to be fixing all the cars that but because of money, you now said that you enjoy what you are doing. Why would you not enjoy what you are doing?
No, I
but,
learned that doing some
but I like your sincerity when you said that money is something that someone would look out for. And I beg you, money is good though. So it's someone said it's in line though. I know you will say it's in line, Ephraim. But then I'm actually happy about your transition and how I think one of the things I picked about your story or in your story is that you easily detected where your interests stayed, or how do I say it? For example, at the moment where you said, okay, when you knew you wanted to teach, you knew what you wanted. And when you saw that opportunity, you grabbed the opportunity. So I think for everybody here, one thing you can take home is understand what you want. Understand what you want. That's even the beginning of your progress. Sometimes some people come to my DM because I'm the brand manager and they say, please tell me what I can do. And I'm like, I cannot tell you what you can do. I can only tell you the list of career paths that exist in tech, and what you then you know what you can choose. For example, someone did mechatronics engineering. In a sense, to do data analytics, you must like numbers, right? It's not because you're going to be calculating every time, but you must like numbers. You're analyzing data, and data most times is numbers, right? So now, someone like that, you don't know what you want, and you're just saying, I chatted the brand manager up, but she did not advise me well. What do you want me to say? Hmm? You people. So, but then I like Ayade's story again, and I hope it inspired people. So let me go to Sergio's story. How did you find yourself in data analytics? What brought you here? How did you decide that this was for you? And are you enjoying what you're doing?
Hmm. Uh, well, mine is kind of similar to IOD, but in a different sense, per se. So in school, I studied chemistry. Yeah. So when you study chemistry and you came out with a 2-2, and you I well the first thing was I didn't study chemistry because that was what I wanted to study. I studied because that was what the school gave me, and I didn't have a choice then. You understand? Waiting 1 year again, so it's crazy. Waiting 1 year again for to write another jam and start writing posterior me without the certainty of actually getting it actually. So that one aside. So during my school, I think there was a time I I I just wasn't feeling fulfilled in the department here. So it was a struggle for me. Yeah. And I'm happy somehow that I got to 2-2, because at the time I was doubting myself that I wish I was even going to make it to something, because it was really, really challenging for me. Because the truth is that once you do not like what you are doing, there's no way you can actually, fake it. You can't just fake it. You might be where you are working, some there are like two things that actually drives people. Is that you love what you are doing, or there's money inside. You understand, there's enough money inside. So for me, I didn't like chemistry. I never liked it. So I just passed. And after school, I was like, what next? And that was during my service period. I was serving, and I started looking out. I started doing research, and the tech team was on the bus then and everything. That was 2020 during the COVID period. It was on the bus and everything. So I started looking for. I couldn't just be sitting at home every day. You get. So I started looking what can I do? What in the tech world actually fits my kind of person. I'm the kind of person I easily get bored. You understand? So curiosity actually drives me a lot. And I did my research. I went through some tech this thing, some tech website, and I did some kind of test, and they were like, oh, you should check out data related courses. And I started doing my research. And that was where I found about data and everything. So first of all, data science, and then I still was studying data science. I was doing Python and everything. But at the point, I had to shift back a bit, because I was like, oh, I feel like, just as Ayola said, for you to know data science, you have to know data analytics, because it is the first thing you do, which is cleaning data, trying to gather as much information as as you can get before actually even thinking of actually building a model for that data. Because if your data is not clean, there's no how your models are going to come out good. So I now had to draw back a bit. Then I started self-learning about data and everything. But at that point in time, I still wasn't fulfilled. I still didn't felt fulfilled, because I felt like I needed guidance. You understand? There's difference between self-learning and actually getting a guidance from somebody that is already doing it. So I had to enroll for a school then, and I started learning data and everything, and that was where my journey started. But getting a job, that was another different part. I didn't get a job as a data analyst. First, my first job, I was an operations officer. I was just doing the operation part of the job, which was on the at the fintech too. So I think that was then I started building my portfolio, and everything and stuff like that. And I started pushing out CVs and stuff like that. And I got this particular role as a data analyst. This was where my data journey started with Baxi. So yeah, so that's just my story. Yeah.
What's his story? I think I missed out, or I'm not sure if you said it. What did you say you did in school?
I studied chemistry.
Ah, nice boy.
I know, right?
Peggy's one,
I,
chemistry zero.
I
Wow.
swear,
Well, my
like,
person, because chemistry was also my first degree focus. And even though I'm not, I moved away from there because I cannot be wearing white lab coats, but all is well. Wow, that's nice.
yeah.
That's nice. Let's quickly confuse people. God, I think I'm not forgetting all these things. God, I beg. Had not to don't carry chemistry come out from my brain. It is well. You biochemistry, Chisom, okay, oh, no problem. All of you running away from the things we need you for in this Nigeria. You will answer the federal government when the time comes. But then this is also such a very beautiful story. And again, this is also a story of someone that knew what he wanted and went for it. If you are here and you don't know what you want yet, this might be a good time for you to decide what you want in this session. So I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the story. But Daniel, don't lie to us. You're enjoying data analytics. You are really enjoying it.
I am actually. I am.
Oh,
So it's more of like a would I say a hobby than a job, because if you make your job a hobby, your hobby, then it's not a job anymore. You just keep enjoying it all the way. So, but there are sometimes when it's challenging, because when those stakeholders are on your neck, I'm sure Ayola knows how Ayode knows how it is. When they are on your neck, sometimes they might just push you off the rail and stuff, but you still come back and you still find your way. So yeah.
wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Someone wrote H2SO4 in the comment section. Wait, H2SO4 is tetrahydrosulfate 6 acid, right? Let me see if my brain is still if my brain is still functioning well. You people, you all the class me. It is well. Even though my GP was okay, but it's okay. So now I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think about getting into data analytics without having a a background in tech? Do you think people need to tetraglyphosate 4? Oh, not 6 tetraglyphosate 4 acid. Oh, really? I thought it was 6. Okay. That slipped my mind. You don't have to now cast me in a bright. It could have come into my idea or something. Well, it's okay. So let me ask you, Ayade, do we need to study software engineering or computer science to get into data analytics? Yes, I know you said you did mechatronics engineering and even Daniel did chemistry, but I know some people are still asking that maybe you did software somewhere in one academy, like people said you enrolled in academy. Maybe you did this, maybe you did that. So tell us, what's the prospect for becoming a data analyst without a tech background? Do you think a background in a techie career or something beforehand is needed in data analytics or to become a data analyst?
Okay, so I think one thing that is needed is mathematics. Not like the core mathematics that you'll be doing linear algebra and stuff. I mean like your basic maths and basic statistics. Mean, hypothesis, average, marks, and all of those things. So your basic stats is the first thing I would say. Now, Chisholm, you're not the only one that is scared of mathematics. I am too. But like I said, the mathematics that you need in data analytics is not the likes of linear algebra and the stuff, right? It's when you are doing your data science and stuff that you need to have the deep knowledge of your linear algebra and the likes. And if you want to pick that up, you can look for Andrew's NG data science course. If you're able to finish it, send me your certificate and I'll send you 20,000 naira. Right. So now, so like I said, you just need basic mathematics. That's all. You know how to do addition, you know how to do division, you know how to get the maximum value in a particular row, in a particular column, or do your hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Is just you saying this thing will happen. If it happen, this is it. If it did not happen, this is it. Like we are all speculating who will win the presidential election, and this is what will happen if this person wins. This is what it happen. Exactly, logic, right? That is what your hypothesis is all about, right? So you need that. You need to understand that, and I think every business actually use hypothesis. So whether you are a finance person, whether you are a mechanic, whether whichever industry you are coming from, you can break into the data space without any technical background, right? And that's why you need to undergo boot camps where you learn about the tools that are actually used in the in the data space, basically. Because if I say tech space, in software engineering, I'm not sure if they are using Excel. In DevOps, they are not using probability. That's why if you are doing data science, you can use all of those probability and stuff, right? But just your basic maths and all of those things, that's what you need to understand. And another thing that I would also mention is actually your curiosity mind, or you need to have a how do I put that now? You need to be curious, basically, because that is what you need curiosity. That's basically what would help you to continue the journey. Because let me not lie to you, it's not easy to, whether you join a boot camp and you are learning or you are doing self-learn, none is easy. It all boils down to your own efforts to be able to drive yourself, right? But if you join a boot camp, it's much more easier than doing like self-learning for yourself. So in all things that I'm trying to say is you don't need to have a technical background or have a job in the data space or in the tech space generally before you can bring it to the data. We have people that are in the banking industry that are also doing data analysis now. The only thing that would add to you is what we call industrial experience, which no boot camp, no self-learning, no nothing can teach you. If you are in the banking sector, you don't need to erase all of your banking life and say, oh, now I'm born again. I'm now doing data analytics now. So anything about banking, I don't want to deal with it. As long as data is used in every industry, you can be a data analyst in any of those industries. So keep your current role or your current job experience, keep it on one hand, and learn data analytics on the other hand. When you bring the two together, you're a fire that nobody can quench out. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ayade. I forgot I was muted. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for those. Thank you for those nuggets. Wait, what's the meaning of Andrew? Okay. I just saw it now. All right, thank you so much, Ayade. And I think one thing people forget is that, like you said, curiosity is one major spice that anyone needs, especially if you want to go into tech career. Money is a good motivation, though, but if you're not very curious about the tech career you're going into, you might realize that you're not on the right path. So whatever tech career I've chosen, in this case data analytics, you should actually be intentional about feeding your curiosity, because I believe that what you feed is what you get, or what you water is what grows. So thank you so much again, Ayade. Now I think I want to take a few questions before we go on. Hey, you have come again. Ganiat, which one is Anova? And people should be coming down. Oh, eh. Let me
You,
ask.
you know statistics people already.
The Anova, we already know Sabi people. People should be coming down. Ah, we are taking something small, small. We have already reached Anova. All right. Let me take questions. I will take questions of people that have their hands raised. So if you have a question, raise your hand now, so I'll see you. Okay, let me take Ijoma Easy. Ijoma, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
And yes, you're audible.
Okay, good evening now, moderator. Good evening now. My question is, as a data analyst, can you go into freelancing as a data analyst, and how can you leverage freelancing if you can go into freelancing as a data analyst? Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll let Ayade answer that.
Okay, so well, freelancing is sweet. I'm a freelancer myself, which means I'm not tied to a particular organization. But in the freelancing space, you need to do times three of what you would do if you are fully employed with an employer. Because in the freelance space, I'm looking out for the best and that can handle my project. So which means that experience comes in, number of projects that you've handled before comes in, your communication skill. So I think the best thing is not to start out as a freelancer. You can actually work within organizations, with companies like 2, 3 years. Then after that, you can decide to branch out. And the reason why I'm saying starting as a freelancer is
Please mute his mic.
first,
Holy Joshua, we will remove you from this call.
So back to what I was saying. So the reason why I'm saying not to start out as a freelancer is because the market is a bit saturated with people that are skilled. I mean, people that are skilled. We are fighting with the likes of Ben Rogoyan. Like we are fighting with a lot of people that are skilled, people that were laid off in Facebook, that were laid off at Netflix and stuff. All of them are coming into the freelancing space. So, but if you work within an organization, you learn three things. One, you learn organization communication. How do you talk to people of hierarchy? How do you communicate with stakeholders and all of that? There was a client I was working with last year, and we did like a session. Say we wrote like, say maybe about 200, 300 lines of SQL code, right? And we had the output pushed to, because they are heavy on Excel, so we had the output pushed to Excel and build dashboard in it and all of that, and the information was sent over to the stakeholders. Now the stakeholders came back and said, no, this is not what they were referring to in the email, that we should start everything from scratch again. Now the person that I was communicating with, I told him point blank that, you see, this thing that your guys are doing, it's actually not you will find two pack in Excel. It's actually not okay on my end, because we spent hours trying to even figure out your different databases name, your tables name and all of that before we are able to generate this. Now your people want us to like scrap everything and start over again. Now, I'm not saying I will not do that, but if I should do this and they come back again to come and say, oh, it was the previous dashboard that we had, I'm going to charge you extra for that. And it was like, no, I can't do that. That if I'm saying it's not fair on me to rewrite all of the code from beginning again, is it also fair on the stakeholders? And I was like, you know what, that's fine. But because I've worked with different persons, I've worked in like organizations, I know how it can be when you are dealing with stakeholders. Those stakeholders, they don't know what they want. That's one problem with them. They don't know what they want. So I know that, oh, this person that I'm talking to directly does not have like 100% fault. So I will take this. So instead of me scraping the whole code and starting from scratch, I just commented out the code and we start writing again all from scratch. Now, when we deployed the second dashboard, they said, no, this is not the dashboard that they want. That is the previous one. So when he was saying, when we jump back on the meeting again now, and I was like, can you see how crazy this is? You are telling me that we need to go and rewrite all the logic we wrote like 2 days ago all over again because your stakeholders don't know what they want. So when you work within an organization, you learn how to communicate with stakeholders, because they can be easy to work with and they can be hard to work with. I think Daniel also mentioned that all they care about is getting solutions to the problem that is at hand, because their main focus is they want to make more money and they want to spend less. So that's everything that they are all thinking about. So the number of hours that you took to write whatever code it is that you write is none of their business. What you are giving to me, will it solve my problem or not? Right? Then two, you also need to learn how to stand your ground, which is this is what I can take, this is what I can't take, right? If you are just starting out, that might be hard because you just want to like, oh, this is a new client, I don't want to lose this client and stuff, right? You need to learn how to stand your ground, and that would be also something you learn when you are working with organizations. You learn how to set, oh, at this time of the day, we are co-workers. Anything about work, don't discuss it with me. When we get to office the next day, you can pick it up from there, right? You get to set those, establish those relationships when you are working with your people. Then third, you learn to review, right? You don't just work on projects and just send it to the client directly. You have people that you can call, that can jump on the call with you and say, oh, I think this chart, you can change it and make it this way. I think you can design this one and make it this way, which is the same thing you still learn when you are working within organizations. Your colleagues can help you to like put some comments into what you are doing and say, oh, before you send it to our guy at the top, I think you should let this person run it for you and see if it's working fine and it likes. But generally, the freelancing space is sweet. The money is there. I mean, you get crazy money. Somebody's salary, you can make it in 1 week. But as it is sweet, that is how the scarcity can also happen. You can have clients that you are working with for a month, and the next 3 months, you are just on free mode, no client to work with, and all of that, right? But if you can do it, the freelancing space is good. And I think one platform that people will always talk is Upwork. I did Upwork when I was starting out. In fact, this laptop that okay, no, that was the previous laptop. The first client I landed on Upwork, I used the money to get the first MacBook that I used. But now Upwork is crazy. Where people are not really looking into is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn gives you that flexibility to touch any part of the world. Nobody is going to charge you for connecting to somebody, but then you just need to know how to sell yourself. And when you are selling yourself, you need to show proof that, oh, these are the things that I've done, these are the projects that are in pipeline and all of that. And that's all for it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you very
First,
much. Very, very
um,
much. Thank you.
that was very detailed. That was very, very detailed and rich. I mean, what you are getting in this free session, you cannot see it on YouTube, except you see it on our YouTube channel. But apart from our YouTube channel, you cannot see it anywhere else because this is good and rich. But then, did anybody hear when you talked about MacBook? People have money in this tech space. It is very low. Some of us are using HP for this meeting, but we are still serving God, you know. But then it's nice. It's nice. Someone is saying, what do you mean as freelance? I think you can check Google for more context, but freelance means you get gigs on a contract basis. So maybe like a project work. It's not like they employ you fully as a staff. So it might just be maybe like you're going to work with them on a particular project for 1 month or 2 months, and that's the end. So it's just per project. They are employee per project, not as a full-time company. All right. Now I'm going to take next question from Bright. Bright Banatu. You can unmute yourself and speak now. Your mic is not clear. I can't hear you well.
Good evening, all.
All right. Good
Are you
evening.
hearing me now? Okay.
Yes, it's better.
I have two questions. My question number one goes as as this. This data analysis. After 1 month of launch it and being very perfect in it, what's the aim of all of this stuff, all of this stuff is to make money out of it. So what is the prospect, the job prospect, the possibility of getting a job as you finish as compared to others? Now, my second question is that of all of the, I will digress later in that one, the second question, of all of the tech branches, talking about the UI, UX, the web development and other ones, which of it is the most sought after tech branch that as in which of them is the that employers as in their services are most needed I don't know if the question is clear.
All right. So your voice was not so clear, but I think I picked your two questions. I will start with number two, then I will allow Daniel answer it. Please mute. You can mute now. Thank you. Um, the second question, which is of all the tech careers, UI, UX, data analytics, which one do employers seek for the most? I would say that that question is not does not have a direct answer, and this is why. It's just like saying, please, oh, if I go to university, medicine, law, journalism, which one do people employ the most? Do you understand? Each career is unique in its own form, and a tech company needs every part of these tech careers. So it's not a valid question or a valid answer when I tell you, oh, go for cloud computing. What if you go for cloud computing and the companies that are in your location do not have job opportunities for cloud computing? So this is why I advise people do a comprehensive research. When you are researching, what do you look out for? Number one, what is the career about? Number two, do you have skills that are related to this career? Are there skills that you have that, or maybe for example, a data analyst must know how to must be skeptical in decision making. Do you have that skill? Okay. Number three, do you have passion for this tech career? Do you like numbers? Do you like graphics? All of this. Then number four, your location. What is more demanded in your location? But asking a question that I should give you a general answer, what employers want generally, is not a valid question. Because employer in Chokoto might want AWS, and an employer in Maiduguri might want. And do you understand? What matters is when you get the tech skill, you know what you want. Go for a boot camp, enroll in a boot camp, get the certification, and apply for jobs. Then, when you apply for jobs, you don't have to be limited to even one state. You can apply for jobs in many states. So I think we'll also still talk a little bit about that. But I will let Sergius talk about this first question he asked, which is when someone finishes a boot camp in data analytics, what's the possibility of landing a job? So I think personally I would want you to elaborate on that, Sergius, by telling us what are the next steps that you would advise someone who just finished a bootcamp training in data analytics? What do you think they should do to make them job ready, and how can they be well positioned for a role in data analytics?
Okay. To be honest, like there's something about life is continuous learning. The day you stop learning is I think there's a adage or saying like that, that the day you stop learning is the day you die or something. I can't remember, but the truth is that continuous learning is crucial as a data analyst. You could the way the world is revolving, as the way everything is actually moving from stage to stage, you need to catch up with your peers. You understand? Today it's Excel, it's SQL. Tomorrow they are adding one more, AWS. Next tomorrow they are adding this and stuff like that. So continuous learning, it is very crucial. Ayode, he's a data consultant, and he can tell you the same thing, because the truth is that I myself, I still take Coursera courses. Do you understand? I still take courses to help me build myself. Do you understand? I still pay for courses. I still pay for professional courses to help me build myself. You understand? To help me get ready for the next step I need to take. You understand? I'm a data analyst now, but the truth is that where do I want to end up tomorrow? Do I want to end up being a data scientist, or do I want to move forward in my career? What do I do at this point to actually move forward? You understand? What are the courses? What are the skills I need to learn? Is it AWS? Is it this thing, Hadoop or Spark for big data? You understand? So continuous learning, it is very crucial. You never stop learning. You learn on the job, you learn outside the job, you learn in the job, you learn with friends. You understand? So learning doesn't end here, that you finish a boot camp and you say, oh, I am done with it. I think I have grasped everything. No, that's not how it works. The more you work, the more you keep learning, the more you get better at it. You understand? And number two is networking. You understand? You have to network yourself, just like LinkedIn, post things about data, talk about data, network, go to all these data conferences. Like there's one they actually do every year, which is the Data Fest. You understand, where you see a gathering of people that are in love with data, that works with data, that you get to meet people, and these people, it's not it actually boosts you, because most times, most of the periods when I get there, I get there to network. You understand, more than learning, because me, I'm the kind of person that I can't learn where, understand, there's so much noise and everything. But where I pick most things, the most thing I do there actually is to you actually network with people. You understand, get people with like mind. You understand, tell them about what you do or what you've done, share your portfolio with them. You understand, networking is a very great, like it's very crucial too. You understand. So the last thing is actually applying your skills, to real world problems. You understand, build a project, like I said before, and build a portfolio. Make sure you are building a portfolio. Let your portfolio not just be on only Excel. Let it have you have to have a project in SQL. You have to have a project real world problems. When I read real world problems, these are like data sets that you could debit to real life real life companies, just like maybe super sales stores, like talking about a retail market, or talking about a healthcare section. Build projects. Once you build that project, don't keep it, post it out. You understand, post it on your LinkedIn and say, I just finished this dashboard and I would like you to comment. I need your this thing. You understand. So with this, I'm sure you would actually this thing. So that's just it. Like, that's just it. And truth is that most times you might say you want to apply. Sometimes we look maybe outside. Maybe we finished as a data analyst, and we look maybe somewhere outside our organizations. But they say something like opportunity meets preparedness. You understand? So you are prepared already. You already have your portfolio. You already have. Most times opening comes in your company. Those are one of the fastest ways I have seen, friends. Like, if you do and this thing, you see that major people that got some people are a handful. Let me not say major. A handful of people that got their job, they got it internally. You understand? So opportunity meets preparedness. You are ready. You know that yes, you have this skill, and there's an opening in your company, and you dive in. Yes, I know this, and I do this. You do the interview and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sergius. And I think one important thing that I would never forget that you mentioned is, one thing about life is for continuous learning. So many times people think once I just finish this boot camp, it is over. They go take. But you know they update yourself. You don't even know, maybe some softwares are newer or something. I mean, continuous learning is something that nobody should toy with, especially if it's not even just the tech industry. Hair stylist, fashion stylist, you need to upgrade yourself, right? Not to now say tech, especially a world that is evolving like this generation. I mean, so thank you so much for those nuggets, Daniel. Sergius. Okay, Sergius. Okay, Sergius. Thank you so much for that nugget. All right, so the last question I'll take before I continue is from Sunday Abraham. You can unmute yourself and speak now. Okay. I think Sunday Abraham is not here. Let me take Juliet Johnson. Juliet is also not here. Now let's take.
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
Juliet is here. Okay, hi Juliet.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I've been a data analyst. Okay, I've been learning data analysis for quite a while, like let's say 4 months now. And before I joined data analysis, there was this misconception I was seeing online. You can become a data analyst in 3 weeks. You can become a data analyst in 1 month. And I started the program, and 4 months in, I still feel like I don't know anything. Like, it's very, very tedious. It's very difficult. I felt it was something very easy that I could easily do, like in just learn it. So now I want to ask, can you do data analysis as a side hustle? can it be a side job or it has to be a main job for you? Because me presently, I have a full-time job, and I went into the analysis thinking I could do it as something like a side job to earn extra income. But seeing it so far, like um learning it and doing some internships, I'm seeing it's something that takes your whole time. So can you do this as a part-time thing? And this thing they put online that, oh, you can get remote jobs in foreign countries as a data analyst. Is it really possible to work from Nigeria as a data analyst in a foreign country? Is it really possible? That's my question.
It's Juliet. So I would answer some of your questions and I'll pass it over to Ayade. Now, the
Okay.
first part where you said you saw a misconception online. Now, I agree that some academies or some people put out things that might not be so realistic, like where you said becoming a data analyst in 1 week or 3 weeks or something. But another thing we should consider is there is a template on ground or a curriculum on ground. And when they say become a data analyst, they did not say become a professional in data analytics. For example, if you go to school to study medicine, medical students use 7 years, including housemanship. And guess what? After the 7 years, what do they call them? A new doctor. That's when they now decide they want to specialize into a particular field, right? So because they
Mm.
spent 7 years does not mean they already know everything in medicine. That's number one. Number two, you also mentioned that you have a full-time job. Now, someone who is maybe does not have a job, I don't want to say is jobless, maybe does is not working presently full-time or does not have another thing they're doing. Maybe the person just graduated or something and has maybe 16 hours in a day to themselves to learn. And they invest maybe 10 hours daily for 3 weeks. You cannot compare what that person is going to learn in 3 weeks with someone who has a full-time job, maybe a mom or a wife, or has other things that do. Maybe you have a ministry or something, and you're investing maybe 2 hours daily. You cannot compare it. Do you understand? So I'm
Yeah.
saying that I'm not trying to support the notion that you can become a data analyst in 3 weeks. So, but I'm just saying there are certain parameters that can be considered why different people might have different time frames for different things. That's number one. Number two, about the side gig thing. I always tell people that no tech career is a side hustle. I mean, you can be a makeup artist by the side, you can be a fashion designer by the side, but tech career is really demanding. It's a whole career on its own. And this is why if you're going to be in tech, it means that you are employed by a tech company, right? Now,
Yes.
the difference between you having a part-time job and you doing something as a side hustle. This is what I mean. A tech company can employ you for part-time. Maybe you are a data analyst, for example. They might tell you, we need you to work 20 hours a week. It does not mean that's your side hustle. It just means that you work with that company part-time. And that's why there are stuff like freelancing that I already talked about. You can get gigs, you can get projects to lay your hands on. Yesterday, we hosted a session on UI UX, and the guest speaker that spoke for UI UX mentioned that one of the sweetest things she likes about tech is the fact that even after your full-time job, you can get freelancing gigs. And she mentioned that in a year, she gets like numbers of gigs apart from a full-time job. But it does not mean it's a side hustle, because side hustle from its definition means there's a main, but this is by the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I don't consider that very realistic because number one, the job market is very saturated. That job you want to apply for, there are maybe like hundreds of other people also applying. Now, these hundreds of other people, maybe they are full-time, they're investing time, energy, they're getting resources, they go to YouTube after enrolling in bootcamp. Like you said, they have been on this journey for 4 months. Now, maybe someone like you doing internship, everything, maybe you have interned with like 2 companies, and someone else is maybe a makeup artist fully and basically says, I just want to do side hustle. When you get to the interview, there will definitely be a difference in your response. The interviewer can tell that no, this person is fully invested than this other person. So I don't think it's advisable for you to take any tech career, not even just data analytics, as a side hustle. So I'm going to pass the baton over to Ayade. Ayade, I want you to also talk about this side also thing for data analytics, and also talk about getting the realities of getting a remote job or a foreign job as a data analyst. So, but wait, I see a chat from Sunday Abraham. You have a question. I gave you opportunity to speak, but you did not speak. So your time has passed, Mr. Sunday, except you write it in the chat box, anyways. All right, Ayade, over to you.
Okay. Who is that person that asked again? Is she still or she has left?
I'm here, Juliet. I'm here.
Okay. All right. So I think that misconception of learning data analytics in 3 weeks and 4 weeks and stuff. I think that was what I started out with when I was I think responding to my first question is that edtech businesses, especially in Nigeria and Indians, right, have painted data analytics as something as simple as fetching water from the well, and it is not so. Aside you learning the tools, it requires that you have keep critical thinking. I can teach you how to clean a data set in a particular way, but that way does not apply to hundreds of other data you will be working with. We can use e-commerce data sets in the class, and when you are doing interview, maybe you have a take-home assignment, they decide to give you a logistic data set, or they decide to give you and a finance data set or telecoms data set. You can't apply the same cleaning process to it. You need to look at the data sets and look at the questions that you want to answer, and that is what we guide your data cleaning process. So critical thinking is needed, but nobody will say this, right? So it's there. I see a lot of that, um, do data analysis in 4 weeks and start earning dollar. That dollar is even like a menace now. Everybody is using dollar, dollar, dollar. Now, so it's not possible to learn anything in 3 weeks, to learn anything in 3 months. That's just the sad truth. But it is possible to equip you with the tools in 3 months. You see, the learning is beyond just knowing the tools. The learning is you applying the tool to what you have been taught. Now, I teach you how to use Excel in 1 month. After that 1 month, I don't expect you to just dump Excel and feel like, yes, I'm an expert now in Excel. Now, I can teach you maybe getting information from another sheet. There are multiple ways. We have VLOOKUP, we have match and index, we have XLOOKUP and the likes. In the class, I can decide to teach you VLOOKUP. Now, for you to use VLOOKUP, for some people that are familiar, I think Juliet is familiar. So, for you to use VLOOKUP, the information that you are looking for needs to be in front of the key that you are using to search. That's how VLOOKUP will work for you. So in the case where the information that you are looking for is behind the value that you are using to search, that is behind the key that you are using to search, VLOOKUP does not work in that scenario. You either use your match index to get the value that you are looking for. But in the class, I might not thought about teaching you index match and just teach you all the time VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP. But when you get to interview process and they are showing you, oh, this is the value that we have, the value is age, then city is in front of age, get us the age for this particular city, then that becomes a problem because VLOOKUP cannot pick age that is at the back of city. VLOOKUP can only pick age if age is in front of city. So you still need to go and learn outside of your own, outside doing, just like Daniel mentioned, it's forever learning. When I think after my first 2, 3 clients and stuff, I enrolled in a boot camp that I paid about, dollar was cheap then, about $2,005. The whole thing I learned from that boot camp, only thing that I could say I picked from that boot camp was how to build better dashboards, how to better present informations. Every other thing that we were taught, SQL, this one, that one, I knew everything already. But I picked data presentation from that boot camp, and I just even got my certificate maybe last week or so, or maybe last one thereabouts. Now, to the get remote job and work, earn dollar and all of that, it is possible. It's not like it's not possible. One of my students, I She's currently working with a US company, right? And it's even the company that is paying for her certification. They paid for her two tablet certifications that she has. Is the company that paid for them. But you see, she did not get that job by using LinkedIn or by building portfolio and whatnot. She got that job by networking. Somebody recommended her to that company. She has been doing some all sort of job applications and stuff. So I'm driving back to networking that Daniel mentioned about earlier. Networking is very important, especially when you want to get job outside of Nigeria, because two things are involved when you want to get job outside of Nigeria. It can be remote, but then the remote job would be in specific countries and say, oh, this is remote, oh, but you have to be within an European country. Most of US jobs, they are remote, but then immediately they ask you, do you have license? Is it license or what they used to call that? Do you have work permit authorization? Once you choose no like this, that is it. Your application is down to the trash. Now you can look through the job posts, look at the job descriptions, and it's like, oh, I can do even more than what they have put here. But you see that work authorization thing has made your application off the charts. But yeah, right to work. But yeah, you can, especially if you are in Lagos. I think Lagos is the hub of data job. Every now and then, those Lagos companies are always looking for people to work for them. So if what I usually advise is when you are starting out, don't start out with, oh, I want to get remote job, right? I mean, remote job is sweet. I work from home, so I'm not bothered about traffic or anything. I'm always in my house, but there is downside.
I can't hear you anymore. Is it just me? Sergio, can you hear him?
I can't hear him. Oh, I can't hear
No,
him
no, no, I
anymore.
can't.
I think
I think
he went
it's
off.
Can you hear him?
All right. So, from what he has said so far, I think that he has hit the nail on his head, right? About networking. Now, I made a statement earlier where I said, okay, I think I have this back. Okay, 1 second. I made a statement earlier where I said that when I was giving example to Juliet about the job market being saturated and all, and I just have to like come back to it because I know that some people here are already saying, hey, the job market is saturated. There is no more hope. Oh, what should I do? Why am I here? What can I now do? Right? First of all, let me give you some hard truths. Number one, there is no career that is not saturated. Why? Because saturated is in perspective and is relative. The fact that I say something is saturated does not mean hundreds of people do not also get job in that career path daily, not even weekly or daily. So what makes you stand out is in life there are principles. And when I say principle, it means 1 + 1 = 2. Whether you're in US, you're in Nigeria, you're in Canada, you're in Eastern, Western country or Africa or whatever. Once you follow those principles, you will get the desired results, which means to stand out or to be considered for a role in data analytics, there are things that you need to know, which are practical things that you can get from experience. Now, experience, they say, is the best teacher, but it does not mean it has to be your own experience. For example, relating with people like Ayade and Sergius, I've learned a lot of things that I have not done by myself, but from them I know that, oh wow, networking, oh this, and this is one thing that I like Travel Tech Academy so much for. We do not leave people after boot camp that, okay, our boot camp is 3 months. After 3 months we let you be alone and say go and figure yourself out and find yourself. No, at Travel Tech Academy, after your 3 months boot camp, there's another 3 months free mentorship. And what the mentorship is for is to help you stand on your feet very well. Because you know that you're new to this field, you might not be able to navigate the market yourself. So you have mentors, people that are already working in this field, hold your hand, show you how to do certain things practically in the field. Things like, for example, how should you write your resume? How should your CV look like? things like, oh, how should your portfolio be designed? Where can you find people of like minds to network with? What events can you attend? What other courses, what examination can you take, and stuff like this are things that we hit on the nail. Sorry, we hit the nail on its head in our mentorship. So don't be scared that a job market is saturated. What you should be after is how you can be properly positioned, which is something that Travel Academy can offer. Now, in the chat box, one of our staff members just put details about the training. And let me just say this for people that are not familiar with Travel Academy. Now, our classes are on weekends only, because we know, like Juliet, many people are professionals, they have full-time jobs. So we cannot say, oh, leave your job and come and attend class 8 a.m. on Monday morning. I mean, that might not be workable for you. So our classes are fixed for Saturdays and Sundays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every week for 3 months for your program. And our classes are online, so you don't have to be at the venue. You sit down on your computer, just like this class. But the difference is that the tutor instructor is going to share his or her screen with you, so you can see what they are sharing, the tools, the software used. Now, on Instagram, we have almost 14,000 followers. We have over 5,000 people in our WhatsApp community and our Telegram, which shows you that we are not a scam and that we have results. If you go to our Instagram page, you see excuse me, you see hundreds of reviews from people that we have trained in the past. In fact, funny story. Yesterday, I went out yesterday and someone looked at me and said, I know you somewhere online. And I was like, you know me, where? And I know you. And she went, she said, I can't remember where I knew you from, but she went. In my mind, I'm like, I don't blow. Who sabi me like this? Although I have a YouTube channel and all, but I didn't expect that someone could know me where I stayed around and all of that. And the person came back and said, is it Travel Tech Academy? I said, I enrolled for your business analysis last month. I enjoyed it and all of that. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we are not a scam, and if this thing has not been working for people, you will not see reviews on our page. So now for data analytics in Travel Tech Academy, it is 3 months and you get another 3 months free mentorship. Like I said earlier, the uniqueness of this program is we don't just load you with information, we give you hands-on experience projects, right? And after you are done, you get a certification. Now our company is recognized and registered in the UK and also in Nigeria. So we are globally recognized. We have had students from UK, from US, from Canada, from South Africa, from Ghana, from Kenya, different parts of the world, right? And our certification have landed them roles. Also, we also have something called internship. Now, which means that if you finish your course and you think, oh, you do not want to, who pinned their comments? You are pinning your comments by yourself. Well done. So, which means that if you finish your training and your mentorship and you think you want to get practical work experience from a company, now we link up our students that are interested in internship to companies. Now, Travel Tech Academy is not the only company in travel technologies. Travel Technologies is a conglomerate of different companies, and one of which is Travel Tech Academy. So we have other companies that people can go up to get internship or do internship at. Also, we have some partnership companies that are like friendly companies that you can intern at. Now, if you're interested in internship, the fee is 90,000 naira, which includes your training, certification, mentorship, and internship. While the internship, if you know you don't want to do internship, you just want your training and mentorship, it is 65,000 naira. You can quote me anywhere. Travel Tech Academy's tuition or payment is very affordable, very affordable. So we're giving you we're giving you training and free mentorship. That's 6 months, and you're paying 65K. And with internship, you're paying 90K because the internship is also 2 months again. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot you're getting for your money. At the same time, registration for this cohort that we're beginning ends on Wednesday, which is April 10, 2024. So if you want to register with the next batch of people, this is the best time to register between now and Wednesday, because after that, the door closes until the next 3 months, right? And so there's a link on the chat box that you can click on, traveltechng.com/data-practical. Type that on your Google and you can watch an example of our class to see how interactive or practical our classes are. Because you might be wondering, what if I go there and I don't even like it? What if they don't know how to teach? we don't want you to say that. So we have already given you opportunity to watch an example of what our classes look like. Then on the chat box, you can join our WhatsApp community or Telegram community, follow us on Instagram, and there's an admin number that you can chat, right? Now, someone is saying, is this meeting recorded? Yes, the meeting is recorded. If you're on any of our communities, you get access to the recording. Also, do you have a payment plan? Yes, you can pay twice. You can pay twice, but if you are paying twice, you have to pay at least half the first before the classes start, and the second half after 1 month of the classes. So that's that for that. Now let me go on to Ayade. Ayade, I think you still had something to say before your network kicked you out, right?
Yes, I think what I was saying was networking. Yeah, that was where I stopped, right? So you need to network. Basically, my student I was talking about that got the job with the US company was also got that like through networking. But again, don't start out with, oh, you want to do full remote at first. I mean, working remotely is interesting, is fun and all of that, but that is if when you have had the taste of how it is to work within organization, interact with people and all of that. Because truth be told, you actually pick up one or two things when you work on site than when you work remotely, right? For me, I'm more of a person that functions very well when I'm in my quiet space, especially when I need to come up with a dashboard or when I need to tackle a particular problem. I like to be in my space, listening to music and stuff. But that does not work for me when I'm on site. The company I'm currently with, I go twice on site. And anytime I'm on site like this, it's always like I'm always having problem concentrating. So anytime I'm on site, all I do is I just read and learn throughout that day. I don't do any work. When I get back home, that's when I now start my work, right? But I figured out that for myself. So you need to figure out what works for you, but you still need to like do on site. Most of Nigeria jobs are actually on site. So if you are a remote person, it might be hard for you to get job on time. But if you're able to, you know what, let's do on site. Let's see how this thing is. In a month or two, you should be able to find yourself with one organization or the other. Yeah.
All right, Ade, thank you so much. Thank you. Someone is saying, is it compulsory to own a laptop? Yes, a laptop is essential. You can't use some of the softwares on your phone. Yes. All right. So I'm going to take. Okay, let me ask Daniel, so just Daniel, this question. Tell me about the earning potential of a data analyst. Because I know you people said money is also important, right? Both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, what's the earning potential? How much can a data analyst earn in Nigeria and outside Nigeria?
Okay. To be honest, I really can't put a number to it, but outside Nigeria, working as a full-time data analyst, at the average salary could be close to maybe 65 to 90K dollars yearly, annually. But in the job market in Nigeria, it's actually depends on the the size of your organization you get, and this thing, there are so many things involved. So it's there is money in data you get. So it's up to you to build yourself and be ready to put in the work and get that money. But averagely abroad, that's that's just like this thing, a range. But in Nigeria too, so I really can't put a number into Nigerian market. So it just depends on the organization.
Are you scared that we're going to bill you? This one I don't want to put a number. But
Oh,
let, let me ask Ayade. I think you already gave us the abroad numbers, 5 to 90K dollars. But Ayade, for Nigerian market, a data analyst, what's the earning potential?
Okay, so I think the earning potential differs across industry, if you are to put it in that context. And I think somebody was asking in the chat. So the earning potential differs across industry, and differs based on the size of the company, right? What a startup company will pay is not the same thing that an established organization will pay. But I think by far the ranges that I've seen will be that for startups, they usually try to give you things like stock and all of those things. There is this startup in Lagos that I was working with them. Till now, the CEO did not give me my stock. So, but I'll collect it when I have lawyer. So, let's say maybe 100 to 120, right? 100 to 120, majorly between startups and semi-established business. But then when you go to big businesses, you can be talking of 150, 200. There, at least that's what I've seen in communities that I've belonged to and all of that. But then if we look at outside, just like Daniel have said, yeah, you can be earning like 90 to $120,000 per year and all of that, which we can say maybe like $4,000 to $5,000 per month, right? But Nigeria, because we are still, I still say that we are not fully exploring the full data analytics capability. So what most organizations are just doing is just clean data and build dashboard and something like that. So that's the figure that I will put to it. 120 to 150 for startup to, and sometimes you can even get lower than that, 120. But then what matters in your first year is actually the experience, because it means that the organization is taking chance on you. They are the only thing that they have as a form of proof that you can do what you claim you can do is your portfolio, which I think like um everybody's portfolio looks like similarly the same these days, right? I was talking with a friend, or more like a colleague, 2 days ago, and it was like, data analytics portfolio is actually rubbish these days. You see every person doing almost the same thing. Nobody is different. You just look at this, what this person have done, and then you replicate the exact same thing and start calling it your own. What you can do, I'm just putting this out now for those of you that are in the space of, oh, you are building portfolio now. What you can do is try to change something in every project that you are maybe watching and replicating. Maybe you somebody is working with an e-commerce data set. You can follow the same process that the person did, but maybe change the data set into something else, and you can have the same dashboard and all of that. But the best platform to actually put your work out there is LinkedIn. I mean, that's like, then for those that are used to it as well. So I'll just stop it there.
All right, thank you, Ayade. Thank you so much. So I think that's practical enough. But I think another thing that I've heard from people is your starting salary is not something that you will stay on. Of course, as you grow and as you get experience, for example, if maybe you get a role now, maybe you just finished your boot camp and you get a role or an internship. Once you gather experience from that, then you can command a higher fee once you get a better job or another job, right? So that's why it's actually not okay to just trash opportunities because you feel like, I mean, you just finished. It's just like you just finished something. So what matters is the experience you can get and the internship experience. If it's internship that you lay hands upon first, get that, get the experience and move on. But one thing you can know for sure is that you would have what it takes to stand, right? Someone is asking a question, can I register for cybersecurity with this batch? No. For this cohort, we have just three tech careers, which is data analytics, cybersecurity, no, not cybersecurity, data analytics, software testing, and UI UX or product design. And for all three courses, registration ends on Wednesday, which is April 10th. So if you want to enroll for any of these three, the door is open and the door will be closed in the next few days. All right. So I'm going to take one last question before we call it a night. And I'll take question from, okay, I think there's a question. The question that was pinned. Let me check it again. I can't even find the question again. Think
I
some
think
days
the
back.
question is from Sunday Abraham. So
Yes, but I can't even see it again.
he said he currently work as a translator full time, and the thing is that he doesn't have a free time and straight mind. So I don't know what that straight mind means due to problem from superiors. I think that one is general. Your superiors are basically stakeholders, and they are like babies. They don't know what they want. So my question is, how can one prepare his mind to start learning data analytics? Because I've tried getting tutorials from YouTube, and truth be told, I'm getting confused the more. Okay.
There's no how you will not get confused more because for real, YouTube is a wild place. That's why.
Okay.
I did you want to take that?
Yeah, yes.
All right.
So where do I even start from? So now I think the thing is we all have time, right? Let me start from there. We all have time. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. I registered for 3 certifications last year, right? I registered for 3 certifications last year. One for Airflow, one for Salesforce, and then one for Tableau, right? And I was supposed to take trainings for each of these certifications before I can take the exams. So I the Tableau was supposed to be two that I paid $250 for, so that's $500. So I took one of the certifications for Airflow, leaving one for the Salesforce because I don't know what happened. I think I was carried away, and I have less than 2 weeks to prepare for the exam. So because I did not want to take the exam, I had to do like a rescheduling, which I paid an extra $50. So I rescheduled from June to November. Now, maybe me that is scheduled to November, I ought to start reading. I did not start reading. I don't know what happened again. Then come November, like 2 weeks to the exam, I rescheduled again to December. Come December, I did not know what happened. I did not read nothing. I just had to let go of that certification. So all my money, both the one that I used to register for the certification initially, plus the rescheduling money, everything just went away. Same thing is already happening this year. I'm supposed to take my second airflow certification before third week in April, and like this now, we are in second week. So which means that I have like just 1 week to go through the course and submit it. Why am I saying that we all have time? Is because we need to, there is something called priority, right? Now, what comes right now for you is your job, right? You go maybe from 8 to 5 and then you come back. For me, I'm a late night person. I like to do my things when everybody is asleep, when the environment is quiet. So I can start my reading from 12 to 3 a.m. But I know that can be hard for people that are staying in Lagos. I used to be a Lagos person, but then I saw lights and I left Lagos. So all the people that are in Lagos, keep it up. Now I left, so I start reading by 12, sleep by 3, like almost every day. And every time I'm doing that, I realize that there is something that I'm doing for money, and there is something I need to do in order to get a better opportunity. So what you are currently doing now is what is holding you at your current level. But for you to move from that current level, you need to put yourself in a place of inconvenience at least for some couple of months, maybe for 4 months, for 5 months, or what's not, and put yourself in that place of inconvenience that you see, no matter how hard it is. I want to be studying 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day, and I want to be doing this 4 times or 3 times a week. You don't need to go all ballistic. Start small. Maybe it's 1 hour every day for 1 week. Then you can change and do, oh, you know what, I want to be doing 3 hours per day for 4 days in a week. Now, as you are looking to learn data analytics, that is how another person is also looking to learn data analytics. And I think Ayo mentioned this earlier. You are putting in 4 hours to learn. Somebody did not even have anything that they are doing. All they do is wake up, go to their system and start learning data analysis from the 8 to 5 that you are at work. Their own 8 to 5 is learning. So what you'll be able to cover in 3 months will be different. Your level of proficiency will be different. But where you will get upper hand than the person is because you are actually working currently now. And what you do is start looking into places where what you are learning or where data analytics can be applied into that your transcripting job, right? Start looking for where it can be applied in that your transcripting job, and that would help you to like focus your learning. And if it is that same industry that you still want to go into, that's fine. But if that's not the industry, you can start looking into different industries. But again, you need to put yourself into that position of, oh, I want to grow. They said the heaven survived violate or something, take it by force. That is what you should do. That is basically what you need to do when you want to grow. That's why for the past 1 week now, what I've been doing is I've been doing like a 4 hours, 3 hours stretch per night in order to ensure that this certification, I do not lose the money and I'm able to pass it. Right. So that's where I will paying that. Okay.
Thank you so much, that was this Sunday Ram is funny. You even wrote translate in Chinese in particular. Okay, so we're rounding off now, but I'm going to ask one last question from Sergius. And this question is based on some comments I saw earlier in this session. Now, there are many tools or softwares in data analytics. Do you advise people or someone who is getting into data analytics to learn as many tools or softwares as possible, or do you say they should focus on the most demanded and that would help them focus on others? So what's your suggestion from your experience?
Uh, okay. To be honest, from my experience, I would say the main in quotes like the tools that are being used in data analysis in our market, you understand, like in the Nigerian market, is basically Excel, SQL, and the visualization, maybe Tableau and Power BI, which is Power BI being used mostly. Do you understand? So having a good knowledge of those tools actually, it's good to have them. But for the sake of opening opening so for the sake of getting more this thing, more opportunities, or getting a upper hand, you need to learn others. But what I'm not saying to learn others at this stage you are in. You have to master the ones in which the basic ones, which is Power BI, SQL, and Excel. That doesn't mean you cannot learn others, but learning others actually just give you an edge in the market. You get. So if you have Excel, yes, someone, I think someone in the question in the comment section was also asking, can I be a data analyst with just Excel? Currently, in my current job, most of the time, 70% of the time, I make use of Excel. Do you get? But you would see the job requirements. The job, I don't know if anybody have seen a meme about a job requirement, like maybe when you see the job advert is a lion, but when you actually enter the job itself, you will see a cat. You understand? You see how roaring it is, being like a lion being roaring. You understand? Like you see the job requirements requires you to know SQL, to know Excel, to know Python and everything and stuff. You go into the job, you get the job, and most of the time you are using Excel, and you'll be asking yourself, okay, where are the other tools I learned? But nonetheless, you have to know those tools because it's actually, you have to get an understanding of all those other tools because it actually gives you an edge in the job, irrespective of whether you are coming into the job to actually make use of Excel only, or maybe that's the major tool the company use, or they majorly use SQL. But you will see that in their job requirement, they require to know all those things. So it actually gives you an edge. You understand? So I don't know if I answered the question well. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. Like you said, the three major tools or main tools in the world of today is Excel, SQL, especially in Nigeria, and a visualization tool, which is either Tableau or Power BI. And luckily, Travel Tech Academy has Excel, SQL, and Tableau. So, if you are still stalling, this is the opportunity for you to enroll for our boot camp that is coming up soon. Someone, someone said you have to allow me ask my question. I'm the only Ghanaian who has a question. This we're not doing country favoritism here now. This is funny. Okay, you have 1 minute to ask your question, Okwan.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess my card I played worked. Hello,
That
can you
card
hear me?
is not a card that should be used because it kind of thing talks about
Oh no,
bigotry or discrimination.
oh no, not that. I think most of the people you called were
Okwam.
Nigerians. That's why I was just saying that. Oh, they
I
are
just
international
I
people
just
also on board.
called randomly anyways. It's not like I
Oh,
said, oh, it's
that that
Nigeria that was the call,
that's fine.
right?
That's
But
fine.
you can go
That's fine.
ahead.
Okay, so my question is okay, so I happen to be in the space of, let's say, data analysis. I have a little experience with like creating dashboards, self-learning as well. But I know have knowledge in Excel, Power BI, and SQL. But I have a question like, so I go online, get data, and create dashboards. When I'm done, I ask myself, so what will I do with the dashboard now? If I'm to present to my boss, will it be in a report form or I'm going to send them like what would the presentation be like? Will I go there and send them the Power BI and present to them? I'm supposed to put it in maybe a report form and break down my like information I've gathered to them or what? Because I have a few of them. I'm like, is that it? Because yes, I might look at my work, understand, but someone else who takes it might not get everything very well. So that's my question.
All right. I did you want to take that?
Okay. So I think this was part of what I discussed earlier, maybe like some weeks ago with some of my students. So the end goal of your analysis could be a dashboard, could also be a report. Now, this is dependent on the person that is requesting for that work. So if it's a dashboard, right, how I can understand what you are showing to me is analytical maturity. And what I meant by that is if you are presenting a question, say something like, what is the number of new customers that we've acquired over the past 4 months, right? Basically, I'm telling you that you should give me something like a trend analysis so I can see, maybe June, 4th of February was when we had the highest number of new customers, or it could be 28th of February, or maybe it could be 14th of February. That was when we had the highest number of customers. What I'm expecting you to use to communicate that information to me will be a line chart, right? That's my maturity mindset. That's what I'm focused on. And that's what I'm expecting from you. But then you decide to present the information in a bar chart. I mean, using a bar chart is not bad, but then you are not using the appropriate chart to communicate that information to me. So, two things that you need to consider when you are using a dashboard is we my audience understand this information by merely looking at it, and that's why we have the likes of two tip, your chat titles, and all of those things to help your audience understand what you are looking at better. But it is more interesting when you are to submit your analysis as a report. Even in your report, you still need to include screenshots and all of that. So the end goal basically depends on your stakeholders, your audience, and the person that requested for that particular job. But at this point, you can try to be practicing the two, and this is where your writing skill also comes in, which will also help you to aid your communication skill. So you can decide to do a full-blown data analytics job, maybe use Power BI as your business intelligence, or use Tableau, or you decide to use Looker or Metabase or whatnot. You can decide that at the end of the day, you don't want to have the whole thing just pull out as a dashboard. You want to have it as a form of report. If you go to LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of people do data analytics projects, and they write a report about it and still include the dashboard. That's a very good way of saying, I know how to present this information to you in a very easy way that will be easier for you to understand, and I can also write reports about it for you. So whichever option that you are picking depends on who is requesting for that analysis.
All right, thank you so much, Ayade. Okwan, I hope you are satisfied now because Ayade has given a detailed explanation. All right, thank you so much. So we have come to the end of today's session. It was very detailed, insightful, and it had so much nuggets that we are taking home. So I would implore you to, if you know you jotted or you wrote stuff down, go back to your notes, refresh your memory. And if you have questions about Travel Tech Academy or you want to enroll for any of the 3 courses I mentioned earlier, data analytics, software testing, or UI UX design or product design, then send a message to our WhatsApp admin. The number was pasted on the chat. Moyo, please paste the number again. And if you want to join any of our community, it was pasted in the chat box too. Please feel free to join us and get more information. So thank you so much, Ayade. Thank you so much, Sergius. Thank you for honoring this call and being here, despite the fact that you could be under your duvet, enjoying yourself with popcorn, doing Netflix and chill. But thank you so much for coming here to give us wisdom, knowledge in the best way possible that you could have given us. And to everybody that took out their time to be in this session, thank you so much for taking out time to be here. To everybody that asked questions, that contributed, that dropped the comments, thank you so much. Now, the recorded meeting will be sent to our community. If you're a member of our community, you will get access to the recording. So that people that want to get contact of Ayada and Daniel, please go to LinkedIn and look for them. That's the best I can say. Go to LinkedIn and look for them. Their full name is on the screen, Sergius, Daniel, and Ayade Adipite. So have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend is over. Oh no. Tomorrow is Monday. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Daniel is crying.